So why does it seem that some people are just able to attract every single thing they want into their life? Either their life is really good and they're bringing in everything and they're learning and they're growing and every pillar of their life is in a very fulfilled place and always getting better. And for some people, they just struggle so much to attract. Well, we're going to be going over three ideas about letting go that actually allows for people to easily and effortlessly become super attractors. This works like magic because in a way it is. You are magic, and when you tap into this, amazing things will start happening in your life. What it ultimately is you get out of your own way, in a sense, to allow the good of life that has always been there to come in instead of being resisted. So that's what we're going to cover next. Hi everyone, my name is Dave and this is HeartSpace, and on this channel I'm creating content to really help you connect more to what you truly are. Now if you want something that's going to help with everything that we're going to go over in this video and really allow you to become more of that super attractor, to become more of what you are, and I don't even want to say it like that, it's not you becoming more of what you are because you are what you are, but it's connecting more to it, it's aligning more to it, then get my free higher self meditation down below in the description, and I really challenge you or invite you to do it for 21 days in a row and see what happens. It's going to go a long way to allowing you to be a super attractor. Now let's get into this video, the three things I want to give you that are going to help you with this, help you with letting go, help you with being able to more easily and effortlessly attract the things you actually desire, the things that resonate with you and align with you into your life. So the first idea I want to go over is this idea that the more you actually let go, the more attractive you actually become. You see, I think we're fed this false idea that the more I bring in, the more things I buy, the more things I do to make myself appear a certain way, the more I interact and bring about in the physical world, the more attractive I become. Well, there might be certain elements to that, but that's actually doing the opposite. Because the more you let go, the more space you actually create for more to be able to come in. You see, God, the universe, is always trying to bring things in for us, always trying to communicate with us, but a lot of us are walking around with a very, in a way, filled cup. Not in a fulfilled sense, but in a cup that really has no space to receive anything. And so we're holding on to something, and it's like we're holding on to something right here, and we say we want to get over there while holding on to this thing. Like, I want to get over there, I just can't seem to do it. I can't seem to bring that kind of thing into my life because we're holding on to this stuff over here. And so when you begin to let go, you actually end up being more attractive. You are creating space and for infinite potential when you really open yourself up to this, because letting go is ultimately allowing yourself to be open to possibility. Because when you let go of the known, you let go of things you know that are heavy and you really should be letting go of, or maybe should is the wrong word, but you are drawn to letting go of. What it does is it creates possibilities, and it allows the universe then to come in and bring to you what it is you actually need, what is actually going to put you more in your heart, what is actually going to allow you to express yourself as the divine, infinite, co-creative being that you are. So that's the first thing about letting go, why it's so crucial, because if you're filling up all of this energetic space, if you're really not allowing for any room in there, because you're holding on to all these different things, well then things can't come in. You know, one analogy I can give you is you can't have an amazing relationship come in if you're holding on to a heavy one, right? You can't have both at the same time. I mean, if you're monogamous, for example, if you want a boyfriend or a girlfriend that is just a complete match, like that soul partner type of match, well, that can't come in if you're holding on to a past relationship that you know is not aligned. Or maybe you're going from, you know, shallow relationship to shallow relationship, or whatever else it is, you are not creating the space necessary for something like that to be attracted in. And this applies to every area of your life. This applies to every pillar: health, wealth, well-being, everything. You know, if you are keeping that space filled with kind of subpar things that don't align to you, or things that aren't really in your highest, well, the highest stuff can't come in. It will still try, you will still get indications, you will still get kind of pulls and resistance and certain feedback to let you know, oh, you probably should let go of this since you keep saying you want this, but I can't bring it in, if you keep filling the space with this. And so letting go, just by letting go, you end up becoming more attractive. Now, number two, and this is a massive one when it comes to letting go, the ability to let go of other people's approval. makes you essentially superhuman. Now, it doesn't actually make you superhuman, but I want you to think of it this way. You know, we are already superhuman. The fact that we are human already makes us magical and super. But so many people are suppressing their power. So many people are not tapped into their own magic that it seems like when we do certain things like letting go and practice, you know, tune in and co-create with the universe, it almost seems like you're superhuman. And that is available to everyone. And a massive, massive thing that's going to help you, or a massive thing to let go of, that's going to just skyrocket so much for you, is the approval of others. Now, I'm not just talking about the approval and you're afraid of someone criticizing you. I'm also talking about the egoic wanting of other people praising you. You know, it's the same kind of thing. That can also be a dangerous rope. I've had both of these kinds of things happen in my life, and they can be as kind of heavy as one another. Right? And so it's not like you should go out of your way to avoid these things, right? But it's just to learn to stop allowing your behavior to change based on someone else's approval, because your heart is going to lead you to certain things. You want to talk about being a super attractor. When you become that way, you start being obviously led to different things, different people, whatever else it is. It becomes quite clear. And if you follow that heart path, if you follow where your intuition is taking you, you will find other things start to come to you quickly. You are the space. You are actually following through on love and what your heart wants you to move towards, on really good energy. But when you allow other people's approval, like, oh, my mom won't like this, my dad won't like this group won't like this, sometimes it's these strangers won't like this, even something as simple as that. When you allow that to dictate what you do, especially and actually, you know, most prominently or most importantly, what your heart is leading you towards, you totally nullify your power, your attractive power. You're not going to be able to bring the things in you want in your life and really experience yourself as a divine being you are in this human body if you are allowing the approval of others to get to you, right? To influence you. It's okay to have it going on, but to really not get hooked into it. And if you do every now and then, it's fine, but a lot of people are walking around just constantly reacting to other people's approval, you know, seeking it out in the positive, right? Like, oh, you're so good at this, or, you know, you're amazing, whatever else it is, and trying to avoid, you know, criticism or harsh words or whatever else it is to the max. And I can tell you one thing, when you start shining brightly, both are going to come in more and more and more. You know, ever since I started really following my heart and living the way I'm living now, I've opened myself not only to more, you know, praise, we'll call it, but also way more criticism, because you're producing more, you're creating more, you're shining more bright, and it invites more of that in. And so it's not about trying to get rid of these things. It's just reimagining the relationship you have to these things. Not getting too worked up when you get praised, you know, accepting it graciously, especially if it's a heartfelt praise. But, you know, on the other end of criticism that's not constructive and meant to, be unsolicited criticism, I would say, and things of that nature, or things that are just meant to bring you down, obviously being able to come to a place where it doesn't affect you either, right? Having the tools necessary to be able to handle that in a very mature way. And when you learn to do this and you really let go of the approval of others, again, when you let go of that, it really puts you in this almost superhuman state, because you're just, boom, your heart's telling you to do something and you go do it. Boom, next download, you're doing it, right? You're not resisting. You know, how many people have been sitting on that business idea that came through them for years? How many people know they shouldn't be in this relationship, or should go after, you know, really move towards this relationship, right? Or go to that country or this place or do that thing, and it's been years upon years upon years, because they're afraid of what other people will think. And so the last real truth about letting go that I want to share is that the less you attach yourself to the physical and detach, the more you can actually enjoy and express yourself in the physical. Now that seems pretty counterintuitive. You know, a lot of people are walking around, you know, with scarcity mindsets because we're taught that if you scrounge and you scrimp and you really hold on to things, that's what allows you to keep hold of them, right? But it's really an energy game that we are playing. And when you detach and you remove yourself from outcome, funnily enough, the physical wealth, if that's what you want, the physical things that you want feel safe to actually come into your life. You have now, like I said earlier, created the space for those things to come in. But if you're holding on to everything, there's no space. There's no room for anything else to come in, because you've chosen to hold on to certain particular things, usually at a lower frequency, usually things that are not even close to expressing what you really are and how you would want to express yourself. And so there's no room for anything else to come in. You are allocating that space to focusing your attention, your energy, and sometimes even even your physical space on certain things. I'll tell you something, people who hoard usually aren't wealthy or abundant. It's usually a problem, right? And you can hoard in an energetic sense as well. It's not just the physical. Usually they go hand in hand and they manifest in that way, because if you're hoarding energetically, you'll probably end up doing that physical. It's a mirror, right? The physical world most of the time is a mirror for what's going on in our inner world. So if you learn to detach, you'll find that so many of the physical things that you in the past wanted will start coming in. But the difference is you won't be too concerned. You'll enjoy them, but you won't get attached to them. Now, there's a difference between, and I think a lot of people get this confused, there's a difference between detachment and completely saying, I don't need, like being an aesthetic and giving up the physical world. And this is just my invitation for you, is that we are in this physical world for a reason. We are infinite co-creative beings, yet in this human avatar body, in the human body, a spiritual being in a human body. And I believe that is for a reason. We wouldn't be here in this form if we weren't meant to express ourselves physically. Now, obviously, allow your heart to guide you to how you're going to express that, if that's what resonates with you. But ultimately, it was never meant to be that we shouldn't put some focus on the physical. It's just that we weren't meant to make the physical the main thing. And when we understand universal laws, we end up recognizing that actually the physical comes out of the inner, because we are spiritual beings in a physical body. We are spirit first. We are just in a way kind of manning these vehicles we call our body for the time being, for whatever purpose we came here for, right? And so in that sense, you can absolutely experience the physical, but learn how the laws of the universe work, right? Again, when you're just becoming from this lack and holding on to things, you don't allow yourself to express yourself physically in the beautiful ways that you can. So if you learn to detach yourself from outcomes, again, there's a difference between being apathetic and loving detachment. You can still have a vision, an idea of what you want to come in, but trust the universe that it's going to bring in something beyond whatever you could imagine. When you come from that space and you come from that energy and go, I don't exactly know how this is going to manifest, but I know that the universe has my back and it's going to bring me what I need. It's going to bring me, incredible experiences. And if you trust that and then do your part of the co-creative process, amazing things will come in. But when you start attaching yourself, when you start getting concerned about the outcome, you're almost trying to do the universe's job for it. It's like micromanaging the universe, I like to say. Don't micromanage the universe. Stop stepping on the universe's toes when it comes to the creation process, and understand what it is your role in the process is and how you can, harmoniously, coherently do that with the universe, and amazing things will happen. So those have been 3 hidden truths to letting go that make you a super attractor. If you really take this on board, and this is just an invitation, you can agree with some of it and take that on board. You can agree with all of it, take all of it on board, or none of it, take none of it on board. This is just an invitation, and I only ask you to take on board what resonates with you if that feels good to you to do. But ultimately, I truly believe that by doing this, you make yourself a super attractor. You allow things to feel like they can come in. You allow inspiration to come in, which will show you what actions you need to take to allow certain desires to come in, or whatever else. You can use any other word. It doesn't have to be desires. It's just a word. So whatever, allowing what the universe wants to bring into you to come in without resistance. But this is something that really helps you tap into the magic of you, because you are the universe, you are God. And when you kind of get your ego out of the way, you allow God in, you allow the universe in fully, unfiltrated, although it will always in a sense be filtered at least a little bit, but pretty clean, like 99.9% like those filters do, instead of a full 100. It's got to be that one little percent for discrepancy, but you can have that when you start letting go and detaching from outcomes. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you want to learn how to really tap into your heart more and more, I recommend you watch this video next. I go over how to do this and some practices that are going to help you get there. Anyway, remember, you are loved. We live in a friendly universe, and I'll see you in the next one.